All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's office hours. It is February 19th, 2025. Today we have Shannon Burge, Kelsey Barraza, Ange Schmidt, Jeannie Lee, Susan Holt, and Crystal White, as well as myself on panel. Just a little bit of housekeeping to ask a question. Click the Q&A chat bubble to submit a question to our team. You may ask questions anonymously, but if you want your name or organization or region associated with your question, you'll need to type it in the Your Name box. The team will read questions after the presentation and will provide answers if possible, and all questions will be saved and recorded as part of the public record. A little did you know, for staff time, including jurisdiction, consultant, subrecipient, and contractor time for work completed directly on the specific activity, it may be reported as activity and activity delivery. Overall management of the CDBG program, such as NOFA webinars and office hours, should be reported as general admin or GA. What's new? Grants Management Manual Chapter 2 National Objectives and Eligible Activities has been updated and is actually live on our website right now. We'll comment about our consolidated plan, public comment period. The 2025-2029 draft consolidated plan is currently out for public comment until March 12th, 2025. And one of my amazing team members can link that in the chat, please. A few reminders about CDBG CV. There will be no additional time extensions granted for CDBG CV1 or CV23 agreements. Financial report requests are limited to costs incurred during the performance period of your standard agreement. To ensure your time is reimbursable, you are encouraged to finalize your activity and close out documents before your agreement expires. And costs incurred after your agreement expires are not eligible for reimbursement. And for this next slide, I'm going to give it to Kelsey Barraza. And we will please hold your questions until the end of today's presentation, and she'll be able to answer any questions you might have as well. Kelsey.
Hi, thank you, Tanner. And thank you to the CDBG team for having me today on such short notice and adding this slide in. My name is Kelsey Braza, and I'm the program manager for the Permanent Local Housing Allocation, or PLHA program. The PLHA program is funded by SB2, which established a $75 recording fee on real estate documents to increase the supply of affordable homes in California. Our program provides local jurisdictions with funding for 10 housing-related eligible activities. We do currently have an over-the-counter NOFA open for the remaining funds from this first 5-year cycle. The remaining allocations are the 2021, 2022, and 2023 funds. However, we are coming up on the deadline for the 2021 allocation, which must be applied for and awarded before June 30th, 2025. So eligible applicants can apply for funding each year as the funds are made available, but they must have housing element compliance and APRs submitted for the allocation years being requested in order to be awarded. First-time applicants must complete a plan that is included in the application form itself that details which eligible activities they will be putting their funds towards for each year of the 5-year cycle. Since the only allocations available at this time are for years 3 through 5, first-time applicants will only need to complete the plan for the 2021, 2022, and 2023 allocations. The application and resolution template are available on the PLHA webpage, and applications for the 2021 allocation are due by February 28th through the portal. So I realize that is not giving anyone who hasn't applied yet a ton of notice. But if you are interested in submitting an application for the 2021 allocation, but you think meeting that deadline just isn't feasible, please reach out to me. I'll put my email in the chat, but we do want to work with you. So Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kelsey. And
Mhm.
again, if you have questions for Kelsey, we'll be able to answer those at the end of our question and answer recap. So for last office hours, it was asked for 2023 and 2023A draw requests. If we have GA and activity to draw, do we have to submit two separate financial request forms? The form combines these, so it would seem that we can use the same form, but we wanted to confirm. Our answer was please submit two separate financial report forms. GA will be requested in the main award, and activity or activity delivery will be requested in the sub-award. Is this funding opportunity open for applications? Are nonprofits eligible to apply? The 2024 CDBG NOFA application submission period closed on December 30th, 2024. Nonprofits are not eligible to apply directly for CDBG funds administered by HCD. Eligible applicants include non-entitlement cities and counties, non-federally recognized Native American communities, and colonias as defined by the National Affordable Housing Act of 1990. Can you use CDBG funds for on-site work or off-site improvements only? Please reach out to your CDBG representative or the CDBG inbox if you do not have an assigned representative for assistance. To provide an accurate response, we need to know the specific details of the project. Is there an anticipated CDBG income eligibility rate change in calendar year 2025? You may be referring to the income brackets and categories that are used to determine if a person is very low, low, or moderate income. The income limits change annually, usually in the spring. Once they are released, we will provide more information. We also have a web page with all the income limits, and a member of our wonderful staff can link those in the chat as well. Related to the equipment slide, instead of perpetuity, does it really mean or intend to be for the life of the item? In perpetuity is not feasible for all situations. What is the solution when that occurs? Use for a program that qualifies with CDBG requirements or sell the item and return funds. Equipment disposition must be in accordance with federal regulations. This information is detailed in 2 CFR 200-311 through 2 CFR 200-313, as well as in our CDBG GMM Chapter 2, National Objectives and Eligible Activities. If equipment, such as a computer, is purchased with CDBG funds under one grant, can it be used on other CDBG grants or just that program, whether funded by CDBG or not? A change in use for the equipment can be requested. Each situation is different. Changes in use requires HCD approval. Please reach out to your CDBG representative for details on your specific request. Additional information can be found in the CDBG GMM Handbook, Chapter 12. Any updates to the OTC schedule? We have no updates and are currently reviewing applications. Why don't you guys like the AI note takers? HCD policy restricts the use of AI, including note takers, for security reasons. And thank you for submitting your questions to us last time. We'll now take questions and try to answer them today. Drean Johnson, uh, Executive Director of Community Action of Napa Valley, asking for forgiveness of a CDBG grant from 9192 to our former name Napa County Council for Economic Opportunity. This grant was for 189,000. Shannon.
And I just wanted to at least kind of reach out. We're going to kind of need to get a little bit more information from you. If at all possible, if you could email some information that you may have about the grant to our unit inbox, which is that cdbg@hcd.ca.gov. I did put that email address in our chat. Please email us so that way we can possibly meet with you, kind of get some more information, and try to help you kind of navigate through your next steps.
Thank you, Shannon. Next question, Alicia Garcia. GNS would like more communication from HCD on HUD development and payments for 22, 23, 23A obligated funding. Has the 24 and 25 funding been allocated and obligated, which suffers the same fate as the funding listed above, and that funding can be revoked if not actually spent? Susan.
Sure. Thank you for that question, Alicia. We are um, kind of learning things the same as everyone else. So as it stands right now, we are business as usual. The funding allocations that come from HUD are, as far as we know, on track at the moment. And we take note that you would like more communication on that. We'll do the best we can um, to keep you more updated on it. But as it stands right now, we know what you know, and we haven't heard any differences in our fate of funding. So far, it's business as usual. So I'm sorry I don't have a better answer for you on that, but as we find things out, we will communicate that out. So thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you, Susan. Anonymous attendee asks, the regulation related equipment to 2 CFR Part 200-313 does not say perpetuity, it states for as long as needed. This is a very different statement. You would suggest that you reconsider using that as a standard. It also states having prior approval and there doesn't appear to be a process in place. Can you please review and set up a process? Susan.
Sure. Thank you for that feedback, Anonymous. Appreciate that. Obviously, we probably need to clarify some of that, but when it comes to, you know, equipment disposition, it's really, there's many factors to consider and it's kind of a case by case. So if you do have a program representative already assigned, I would say reach out to that program representative and they can get some more details and direct you. If you don't have one assigned, then please reach out to our unit inbox email at cdbg@hcd.ca.gov and we will get someone to answer your specific equipment questions. So thank you for that question.
Thank you, Susan. Anonymous attendee asks, if HUD's budget is severely cut, if HUD is required to conduct a reduction in force that other federal departments are currently experiencing, and or if HUD has their funds frozen, what will the impact be on existing CDBG contracts and or the OTC applications submitted last year? Susan, you really get the tough ones today.
Yeah, no, you're giving them to me fast and hard. I love it. Yeah, again, I wish I had more information for you. You know what we know. We do not anticipate an impact on prior contracts for OTC applications submitted last year. For the 24, we're not anticipating as it stands any changes, but we will definitely keep you posted if something does change. I know it's a chaotic kind of time right now. We're all feeling those pressures. And so we are sensitive to that even ourselves. But so far, everything is business as usual, so we do not anticipate there to be a negative impact on existing contracts or the applications that we've done so far. But we'll keep you posted if anything changes.
Thank you, Susan. Alicia Garcia asks, how is HCD advocating to HUD and then hopefully the president the value of state CDBG programs? Susan.
Sure. I know it's very frustrating and it's very nerve-wracking this time. So I do appreciate the sensitivity to what's going on right now with the current administration. We are advocating, we do have a process and we do have direct communication with our HUD representatives. And we are definitely communicating the value of CDBG programs. And you may have seen in the news also that other folks have, local jurisdictions and folks have also been communicating the value of the CDBG program, not anticipating it to go anywhere. But again, it is chaotic for us as well. And we're waiting to hear if anything does happen, we will absolutely share it with you. But we know what you know at the current moment, and we are not anticipating the CDBG program to go away. That said, we have to, go according to what the current administration is doing. So as we learn information, we will absolutely share it with you.
Thank you, Susan, again. As a reminder, all questions should be submitted through the Q&A chat feature. We did get a couple of questions in the chat. I'll go ahead and address those, I suppose. Chanel Clark, will the Open ESG grant be discussed? ESG won't be discussed in this office hours. ESG does have their own office hours. If one of my team members can link to their office hours, that would be fantastic. And Shanae Johnson asks, can you please put in the chat the link I need for CDBG loan forgiveness? Thank you. Shannon, I believe you put in our CDBG inbox. So please go ahead and reach out to our inbox for more information or to discuss with us. Lori Adams asks, hi, I noticed in new chapter 2, you have lost rent listed. What is this? Lost rent. I believe, I haven't, it's not in front of me.
Lori, can you specify where you see lost rent? There's unfortunately 51 pages, and finding lost rent might be a little difficult on the spot.
Oh, loss of rental income.
Um,
Yeah, that's a very niche, like, eligible activity category. Let me take a look for that.
Tanner, this is Felicity. I can describe it if you want.
Sure, thank you.
Hi, everyone. Sorry. So loss of rental income is a CDBG eligible activity. It's not one that we've included in our list of eligible activities under the current NOFA. It's generally for when a multifamily housing developer has some kind of vacancy issue related to something outside of their control and can use CDBG to cover the loss of rental income. So not something that we have as listed as eligible, but but chapter 2 covers all CDBG eligible activities, regardless of whether they're eligible under a NOFA or not.
Thank you, Felicity. Appreciate that. I couldn't have put it better myself. Thank you, Felicity. Thank you, Lori, for your question. Janet Reese says ESG office hours is every other week on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Next one, according to my calendar, is February 26th. Thank you, Janet. I appreciate you putting that information in the chat. Lori Adams says this would be helpful, so helpful in a few of our communities.
Yeah, noted, Lori. Thank you for that feedback.
Okay, we have no other questions in our Q&A. I'll give it a couple more moments. Anonymous attendee says, is there anything specific that makes you say you have no reason to believe the CDBG program will go away? We have been instructed by CDBG reps to submit reports reimbursement requests more frequently to ensure reimbursement because of the current federal climate, which we are happy to do, but does that create a feeling of trepidation? Susan.
Yes, thank you for that and bringing that up. And it's probably a point we should highlight here as well. So I do appreciate that question, Anonymous. The reason that I say we don't anticipate the CDBG program will go away is because no news is good news in the current climate, and been we've not been given any information that the program is in jeopardy in any sort of a way. So we're just communicating to you what we've learned. But that was what I meant by that. As far as submitting reports and reimbursement requests more frequently in the current federal climate, we just had some of you may have known we had this federal freeze pause go on. We just want to make sure that we are getting the funds out to the communities as quickly as possible, just in case of some temporary pause or something that may come in the current climate. So what we're recommending at this point is, if and when you have a reimbursement that you need, please submit it as quickly as possible. I know it's more work for you, it's more work for us, but just in this current climate, just in case, and we don't want to create this feeling of trepidation, but it's the reality of where we are right now. So just in case there's a freeze or something like that, we don't want any of your projects to be temporarily suspended or any kind of hiccup in the construction or anything that you have going on. So that's why we're recommending that you send them in, but no indication so far that the CDBG program is in jeopardy. We just want to make sure there isn't any delay in the funds that you need to have received for the projects that you're doing. So that's why you've been, encouraged to submit your reimbursement request as soon as you get them. And we do want to continue to encourage that for jurisdictions at this point. Hopefully that helps a little bit.
Thank you, Susan. That was spot on and exactly what I would have said. I just wanted to add a data point that may be of some reassurance to folks, which is following the Los Angeles fires, HCD was actually allocated special disaster recovery funds for homelessness assistance called ESG Rush funds, and those were awarded to HCD under the current administration. We continue to get, and we actually have an executed grant agreement executed by HUD under the current administration. So fund and our system of disbursements, IDIS, remains up and running. We continue to draw down funds and continue to fund eligible projects. So as Susan mentioned, we just are encouraging expeditious submission of requests for reimbursement so that projects can continue. We have executed grant agreements for up through 2024. We haven't received our 2025 allocation yet, but we have executed grant agreements with HUD that are contractual obligations through 2024. So just wanted to add those few points. And one more point, because someone was asking about advocacy. HCD leadership is planning to go to Washington, D.C. and meet with HUD officials as part of the annual Council of State Community Development Agency conference in mid-March. And so we will be doing some administrative advocacy at that meeting. And we are also members of that organization, which is a membership organization of all of the states that are like HCD and administer these community development and planning funds. So just wanted to add those few points.
Oh, I was muted. I said thank you, Felicity. Sorry about that. And as a reminder, please do use the Q&A chat feature to send us your questions. It's very important. Anonymous attendee asks, if there is a federal shutdown, will that impact CDBG on the state level? Susan.
Sorry. Yeah, thank you for that question. I kind of echo that question. But again, we don't have any new information. We're not anticipating a federal shutdown. I've been in grants for a long time, and I can say that as a pass-through agency, it's a little bit different for us. You know, that may or may not affect, and I've seen this happen before with continuing resolutions and things. It usually just creates a delay on certain items and certain things, but we're not anticipating that at this point. Like Felicity said, which thank you, Felicity, that was really good synopsis of what's going on here. We do have our obligations through 2024, so we don't see that impact going on at the moment. And not anticipating that it will impact on CDBG. We contract through HUD as a pass-through entity. So the federal government shutting down, we would keep going business as usual in general. Of course, you know, pending any further directive on that, but we're not anticipating any hiccups in what we have currently going other than a possible, you know, with the funding freeze that happened, that was a little disconcerting. So we do want to make sure that folks are spending down and getting their reimbursements as quickly as you can in this current climate. But we don't anticipate any big changes at the moment, and fingers crossed, no federal shutdown. Wish I had better answers for you, but that, you know what we know, and when we know anything else, we will absolutely distribute that out and make sure everyone else is aware of any changes that go on. So I appreciate the concern, but so far we're not anticipating anything impacting CDBG.
Thanks, Susan. Lori Adams asks, any updates on the program income applications? Susan.
Sure, I can take that one. Program income applications continue to move along. I know there's a lot of nuance to those. So they are treated the same as other applications in general. And I know some folks have some program income applications that are currently in the correction stage. We have some clarification coming on some components of program income applications. If you have a current one, Lori, which I'm sure that you do, if you could reach out to your program representatives for those jurisdictions, they should be able to provide you with an update. And if you want to CC me on there too, I'll see if I can do a little deeper dive for you.
Thanks, Susan. Regina Young asks, can we apply for CDBG funds as a nonprofit for rehab of our existing housing units? Please advise. Hi, Regina. So we have a slide here that kind of addresses that. Nonprofits are not eligible to apply directly for CDBG funds administered by HCD. Eligible applicants include non-entitlement cities and counties, non-federally recognized Native American communities, and colonias as defined by National Affordable Housing Act of 1990. So nonprofits cannot apply directly, but you typically cities and counties will apply and may have a nonprofit as a sub-recipient.
Thanks, Tanner. I would just piggyback on that to say, I would recommend that you reach out to your local city and county and see if they are, if you can coordinate activities with them to get what you need addressed.
And I'll add too, depending on what city or county you're in, the CDBG may be administered by the state or directly through that city or county. Lori Adams asks, just submitted an income survey request. About how long should we anticipate approval? We have 2 more to submit. Susan.
Sure, thanks, Lori. We did see that come in. There's a couple of questions we have on it. You should be, if you haven't already, received some communication on a few items that we need to clarify on that. How long it takes for approval, you know, there's depending factors of there of course. But I understand you probably want this for the upcoming NOFA potential projects. So we do have that on our radar to get those approved and out back to you as quickly as possible. So just if the quicker you can get the requests in and the quicker you can get any corrections or questions answered, that will help tremendously in the quickness of approval process. So I would recommend to be just really responsive to those, and we will keep it on the radar to get those pushed through as quickly as we can so you can prepare for the next NOFA. Thanks for that question.
All right, my Zoom's going a little haywire here. Thank you, Susan. Appreciate it. Lori Adams asks, okay, elephant in the room question, update on OTC awards. Jeannie.
Unfortunately, we still do not have an update. We are still in the process of reviewing the applications that were submitted. We did receive a lot of applications, and with everything that is going on, we ask for your patience as we go through these as quickly as we possibly can. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeannie. Andy Lucas asks, is there an anticipated 2025 NOFA release date?
We
Jeannie.
are currently anticipating sometime in the summer of this year.
Thank you. Beth Dodd asks, is there a list of program representatives? It would be so handy to be able to reference that as the representatives are changing irregularly. Susan.
Sure. Thank you for that question, Beth. We've had this question before. So we do not have a list of program representatives, and they do change periodically based on workload, and it depends what kind of projects we're getting in at the time, and how much technical assistance folks need. So in order to distribute workload properly and make sure that you get, and I hope that you're all getting responses quicker and kind of better customer service and communication in this new environment, but we do not have a list of program representatives because we don't do them by territory anymore, because some territories have a ton of grantees in them and some have none. So that was a little too difficult to keep things balanced for everyone to be able to give you really good customer service, which is what our goal is. So if you have a question on who your representative is, you can always send an email to the unit inbox at cdbg@hcd.ca.gov, and we'll be happy to either assign someone to you if you don't have one yet, or let you know who they are. Unfortunately, that's kind of the reality, that we're not able to provide a list. It would be too difficult to update it and keep everyone informed that way, but we're here to help and make sure that you get your answers as quickly as you can and that you have a representative assigned to you. So I wish we had a list for you, but at the drop of a hat, we can let you know who they are. So it should just be a very quick response if you send it to the inbox and you're not sure. So apologies, we don't have a list, but we can get that answer to you very quickly if you send it to the unit inbox.
Thank you, Susan. Anonymous attendee asks, is the CDBG PI application the same as the home PI application? Jeannie.
Anonymous, thank you for your question. No, the CDBG PI application is a completely different and separate application from the home PI application.
And just to add on that, I did find that home does have like 2 different PI only applications. I would recommend reaching out to your home rep to see which one that you would need to use. But I'm going to drop the link in the chat.
Thank you both. Sandra Sapin asks, if the OTC applications still state draft in eCivis, does that mean funds were already expended by the time the applications were submitted? Jeannie.
An OTC application is still in draft. It means that it was not submitted. It does not mean that it was necessarily that the funds were already expended, but if the 2024 OTC application still says draft in eService, it means it was not submitted.
Thank you, Jeannie. Anonymous attendee asks, can you note the general inbox again, please? Shannon.
Yeah, we put that in the chat, both Susan and I.
Thank you. Pamela Givens asks, is there a link to sign up for ESG office hours? Was that included in the chat, perhaps?
Yeah, we can drop that in the chat if one of the specialists has the opportunity. And always, if you need to sign up for those office hours, you can always send an email to our unit inbox and we'll connect you with those links as well.
Thank you so much.
I'm actually gonna jump in and say that I will drop the link to ESG's inbox for you guys. I did try to look for a link to their office hours and could not find it. So you will need to reach out to ESG for a link directly.
This is Felicity. I'll see if they're available right now to send me the link as well. So if we get it before the end of this office hours, I'll put it in the chat. But I know that they're really responsive to their NOFA inbox. So if I'm not able to get you the link that the email address that Jeannie just put in the chat, we'll get you that information very shortly.
Perfect. Thank you, Felicity. Thank you, Jeannie. Lori Adams asks, sometimes it shows draft, but when you go in, it will show submitted, FYI. Yes, Susan.
Yeah, sure. No, if you have a question about it, you can always send a message to the CDBG inbox and we can let you know if it was submitted. Those who do, once you have submitted, you should receive an automatic response that says that your application has been submitted, remembering that there should be two of them, a main and a sub at least, depending how many applications you've submitted. So you should have that auto reply if it was submitted, but if you have a question about it, we'd be happy to take a look and let you know.
Thank you, Susan. Okay, just gonna give a few more moments. Hopefully we can get that link for ESG office hours for y'all. If not, we do have the inbox there. Just give it a few more minutes and see if there are any last minute questions. Janet Reese. On the application screen where it lists all the applications you started, it sometimes shows draft. But when you go into it to see the tile for the specific application, that tile will show the status, draft, not submitted, submitted, in review, etc. Janet, thank you so much. Appreciate that piece of info as well. Yeah, for some reason it's not always consistent in the portal. Beth Dodd asks, is there a link for the PLHA portal for applications?
Hi, Beth. Yes. If you go, let me pull up the web page. But if you go to apply now, I believe on the PLHA webpage, there is a link to the portal where you can submit your applications.
Thank you, Kelsey.
Of course.
Update on ESG. They're working on finding the link.
Thank you, Felicity.
And if we don't get it in time, we can certainly add it to our newsletter so that you guys have it going forward.
Thanks, Susan. I've got it. You just put it in the chat.
Fantastic. And thank you for posting that PLHA portal link, Kelsey. And then we have the ESG office hours link as well. Thank you, Felicity. Give it a few more moments, see if any other questions come in, and for everyone to be able to get those links. And then we can wrap it up. Sandra Sabin says, I do have 2 confirmations for my submittals and will send those for verification. Thank you. Thank you, Sandra. Lori Adams says, thank you all. Great meeting. Thank you, Lori. Appreciate everyone attending. Always appreciate your time and questions. But I think that wraps everything up. Thank you, everyone, and we will see you next time.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.